Welcome to Songs of Inspiration, a monthly podcast that brings you interviews and performances by local singer-songwriters with the goal to give space to the music community and share local artists' messages and stories with the world. I'm your host, Lars Wickman. Hey everyone, welcome back for another great episode of the Songs of Inspiration podcast. We're here in the studio today with Laney Ryan and her band, and they just dropped a new record called Tear It Down. Thanks so much for being on the podcast, Laney.
Thank you so much for having me and my two bandmates that are here today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Very cool. So to start things off, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got started with music?
Yeah, sure. I guess when I was really little, I was always pretty obsessed with music. Even like when I was 6, I was buying records and sort of obsessively playing records, and music was always around the house. My parents had a lot of records, but they didn't play an instrument. So I didn't really get into, playing music really until I decided I wanted to take voice lessons when I was about 19 or 20. And so I did that for a bit. And then I had a friend who wanted a change of scene, and she wanted to go to college out of state, but she was footing the bill. So she just was going to do like community college. And she asked me if I wanted to go to Florida. And I was like, well, I don't really want to go to Florida, but if you go to LA, I'd love to go and join a band. So I'll go with you if you go to LA.
Oh, cool.
And so we did. Yeah, that was really cool. And we did that, and she worked and went to school, and I worked and, joined this band. And I did that for about 3 or 4 years, and it was just a great experience. I didn't play guitar at the time. I was singing. I was really kind of a newbie, and they were much more seasoned players than I was. But I guess they kind of liked my tone and my drive to really practice a lot. I would go to like a rehearsal space on my own once a week, and then I would play with them once a week. And I was just really, kind of into it, trying to kind of catch up and learn everything I could and get my voice to kind of, just sound good with all these songs that were already written. Actually, most of them were already written. And then I would write some new ones. And I just really loved, playing shows and doing demos with them and, and just, writing. So I guess I just started to really get into it, from that. And so then when I came back years later, I moved back to Boston, and I just got caught up in life and working, and I ended up having kids, and I just didn't really sing for quite a while. And, I sang my kids to sleep, and that was probably it for maybe 10 years. And I really, really missed it. It was like something inside me just, was really empty because I wasn't doing it. Like I really, really, I feel better always when I'm doing music and writing and things.
Absolutely.
And so, and then I basically... it's funny, Amy Mann had this contest to do one of her songs called Freeway. And she wanted you to upload a YouTube video of yourself doing Freeway. And I was kind of new to guitar. I just newly picked it up like maybe a year before, and started slowly writing and getting into singing more. And I did that video contest just for fun, just kind of to give myself something to do because I was just playing by myself. I didn't have, a project or anything. And my husband at the time was a musician, and he just really shared it to like everyone we know. And I was kind of like, I didn't tell anyone that I did it. I was just kind of like embarrassed. I don't know if it's good, that kind of thing. And he showed his coworkers and his family and his friends, and just a lot of people came back and were like, why aren't you doing this?
Wow.
Wow, we had no idea. And I was like, really? That kind of thing. I was like, yeah, I really do miss it. I want to do it. And that kind of gave me a push, to get back into it. And I just kept writing more. I was definitely like a closeted musician. I didn't even really tell many people that I had songs and I was really doing it. So a lot of the people around me weren't really into the same type of music. I was, in the world of moms and kids, and it was great. But like, I just didn't really share that side of myself, I guess. And, but then I put in a Craigslist ad, and I finally found a lead guitar player who played really well and was, really a seasoned player, been playing for decades, was in a lot of projects, even a couple of projects while we played. So it was really good for me to kind of, play with him and learn how to harmonize. And he had originals and I had originals, and we would do like farmers markets and open mics and stuff like that. So I kind of got over some of my stage fright again because I hadn't played in for so long.
Yeah.
Because people are walking by and they don't really care. You kind of background music. They kind of watch a little and they move on. You're like, this is fine. Like, I'm not really nervous with this, So that was really a good way for me to kind of get back into it and play for 3 hours and just kind of have fun with it. And and then COVID hit and that kind of disappeared. And then when COVID was over, I'd still kind of continuously wrote songs. And I just found Sean, my lead guitar player, last March.
Oh, wow.
And then found Liv, my harmony singer and keyboard player, I think maybe in the fall. And my drummer, Brian Lilienthal, got with him all Craigslist ads. I really lucked out. And it's not like I just, put Craigslist ad out once and found these guys. But it was years of kind of doing an ad and, kind of finding someone not really work out too well. Or you just meet people and go, no, they're into like blues or whatever. They're not going to really compliment what I'm doing. They don't know the bands I listen to, So yeah, I just kind of lucked out and, and now we're in this project and, Sean's really driven to kind of help me push forward, which is really great.
That's excellent.
And it's been great. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It takes time to find that chemistry, but once you do, it really is powerful.
Yeah.
And the sound that you can create with it and
right.
stuff.
It's huge. And it's huge when you blend voices so well together with someone like Liv and I think we sing, it sounds really great together. She's got a beautiful voice and, Sean and Brian, everyone's easy to work with. They all like similar styles and a variety of styles. And we all just kind of come together and have fun with it,
Very cool.
So it's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Who was one of your favorite artists growing up?
Well, let's see. Growing up, when I was really little, I loved Elton John. Nice. I heard Benny and the Jets when I was like super little, and it just like blew my mind. I just thought it was like the coolest song ever. And I went to see him live at the Boston Garden, and that was really great. But I'd say like the first, musician that I really got into their work and like followed them and just got inspired by them as a musician and kind of was like, oh, I want to do this too, sort of thing. That would have been like Tori Amos for me, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I really got into her music. I was out in LA at the time, and I just loved how, she could do so much on piano and with her melodies. And I saw her live, and she's just so entertaining and so an amazing performer. Yeah, and great writer. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I love her music.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have any mentors as you were starting out in music that kind of influenced you?
Not so much like direct mentors in the sense of someone sort of, guiding me really, but like my parents didn't play. No one really around me and my family or anything played. But I would say like my first band, because they were much more seasoned than I was, and even the gentleman that I played in a duo with for, maybe 7 or 8 years, they all were such seasoned players that I learned so much from them, kind of song structure, harmonies, blending guitars, and, just all that kind of thing. So, and then actually I got a one-on-one mentor, like Zoom call with Ellis Paul.
Oh, wow.
Ellis Paul. Yeah, he's so cool. And even though, like, my music is definitely not as folk, but I somehow landed on his website and I saw that he was doing this. And I set up this call and I'd sent him like 3 or 4 of my songs. Excuse me. This was like last March. And he's like, I don't really know your genre, Laney, but, it's actually, your songs are actually pretty good. And I think you need to, find your community. Because I told him I wasn't really doing much. COVID had just ended and I didn't have any players, and so I was kind of stagnant. And he was like, you really need to find your people and maybe find someone to compliment you on guitar and play some lead and stuff, and actually play Colors and Shadows while we were on the call. He played like some lead and I was singing that, and it was really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And so I got really inspired by that call. And I think in under a week, I was like, all right, let's do it again. Another Craigslist ad. And then Sean, kind of appeared. And
that's great.
Yeah. And that's how that got going. So yeah.
Nice. That's really cool you had that experience.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any creative routines for writing that keeps you kind of in the flow?
Not really. I wish I did. 'Cause I'm in, I work and, things get busy in life, but I've tried to plan, I want to write this night. I'm going to give myself 2 or 3 hours. Because I'm someone who can't just write a piece of a song,
Hmm.
because it's kind of like it has to come through and like maybe be 90% done, or I just
Yeah.
won't be able to finish it.
Hmm.
I'm not one of those people who can have pieces everywhere. I'll get too overwhelmed. I won't know how to connect them and finish them.
Hmm.
So it's like I need this, big space of time. It's like I need 2, 3, 4 hours to really write
Yeah.
at least. And so that's hard to come by and carve out, in a schedule. But when I've done that and I've tried to plan, it's kind of like I just freeze instantly.
Yeah.
Like I can't think of anything. Like I'm walking around day to day thinking, oh, I'd love to write a song about this or that. And that's a cool theme, whatever. Then I sit down, I'm like, I don't know what to write,
Yeah.
and it just like nothing comes. But so I think the thing that works best for me, and I never know when it's going to happen, honestly. It's like I'll just be doing my other songs,
Yeah.
and at the end there, I'll be like, oh, it's not too late. I'll just sort of noodle around and, oh, there's like a cool chord progression. I kind of followed it along, and maybe I'll hear like a line of lyric, and I just kind of go with it. And I grab my pen and paper and I grab my phone, I, record. And then like I look up, 2 to 3 hours later and I'm like, oh, I think I have a song,
That's cool.
Yeah. So that it's almost like they have to sneak up on me.
Yeah.
I can't plan like when I'm going to write. And maybe that'll change someday. But so far, this is how it's been working for me.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I've experienced that too, where songs just sort of sneak up on you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like 2 a.m.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it feels like you were there for half an hour and it's like 4 hours later. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Then you're in your flow and you're doing what you love. So
yeah, it's
so
always
cool.
a good feeling to do that. I remember there was a song I did a little while back that I started writing it and then woke up the next morning and was like, oh, I have the ending.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
That's awesome.
That's always cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. What was the biggest challenge you faced pursuing music?
Yeah, well, it's still currently going on, and that's the time, to really dig in and write more and, refine stuff that I already have. I have a lot of songs that, I don't actively play that I'd like to revisit and kind of change up a couple things or whatever. So yeah, I think, finding the time is a big thing. And, I guess the biggest challenge early on was finding the right people.
Yeah.
Which I'm really glad now. I think I have, players that really work well with my project and we have a great time. And so I'm super grateful.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You released a new album recently. Can you tell us a little bit about the creative process for that and a little bit about what it's written about and stuff?
Yeah. So yeah, that EP, it's a 5-song EP. It's called Tear It Down. It's a group of songs that most of them were written in the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
There's one older one, Satisfied, that I wrote maybe 8 or 9 years ago. And I kind of pulled it in because sometimes I write so many melancholy songs that I'm like, oh, this one's a little bit more bouncy, mid-tempo or whatever. I'll use that. And I kind of thought the lyrics were, kind of appropriate for these days. So I brought that one forward. And then, but yeah, so it's just the same creative process, I guess, of writing them and then just, bringing them to the band and having them write their parts to it and kind of add to it, make it fuller and, and then just, taking it into the studio. And I actually had John Sands play on it, Amy Mann's drummer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's great. He came and played on all the songs but This Path.
Very
Actually,
cool.
My drummer, Brian Lilienthal, knew him and kind of hooked me up with him. And he had taken a couple of lessons from him. And so that worked out really well. And because I think when Sean and I had just started in the studio, we were just kind of a duo, actually, at that point. Liv wasn't quite with us yet. We had just met Brian. For his work, he travels a lot. And so I was like, I need a drummer for this. And he was like, oh, I think I don't know if I mentioned John Sands. I've kind of always had him in the back of my head because he's local. I'd love to use him on, some studio tracks. But, and so that kind of worked out that way. And we kind of started in December recording. And then my schedule and the engineer's schedule didn't align till like March,
Oh, wow.
and things just kind of kept, I was hoping to have it out by, June or something, but then I decided to put this other song on there that Brian, the drummer, he played on, is called This Path. And by then I had like a full, project of people. And yeah, we did a video for it. And then I was like, oh, this came out pretty good. We did it in 3 takes in the studio, this local studio. And I didn't think we were going to do anything really with it except for use it for the video. It was like kind of a cool place to play. We played in the studio and just have decent audio. And then I was like, wait, why don't I just put this on the EP? So that kind of dragged it out even longer. But it's nice to have, all my players on there.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
did you guys do like live tracks, or did you break it out?
No, we just all played together on that one. Yeah.
Nice.
And 3rd take, we nailed it. And I was like, wow, that sounded really good. Let's just keep that, and I think it kind of taught me going forward, I want to do more of that.
Yeah.
Rather than just build it track by track, which is great too, but it just takes so much longer.
Yeah.
Then you overthink everything, and, I'll sit there and do like 8, 9, 10, attempts of vocals. And I'm like, I don't really have to do that. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of nice when you're all live and you're really feeling it to just get it and just capture it and be done.
It feels a lot more natural.
It
that
does.
Way too.
It really does. Yeah, you can get into it way more. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. And I remember when we connected, you worked with Sean McLaughlin, who's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about his part in the project?
Yeah. So we wanted to mix, and this is like in the spring. And then we were working with Dave Minahan at Woolly Mammoth. He was great. He recorded most of the songs, I guess all of them except for This Path. And so he had kind of a crazy schedule that just didn't align with mine. It was going to be months out, a couple months to really mix. And so I jumped over to 37 Foot Productions to do the mix there. And it was great. And then that's when I came in. I actually did another song with Sean McLaughlin that didn't make it on the EP. And it's called How Long. I just went in there one day by myself, actually. And I was like, I just want to get this one recorded because I don't want to put it on anything else really, in the future sort of thing. It was one of these like breakup songs I kind of just wanted to record and be done with and not have to do it on a future kind of release. I might put it out as a single, but it was so much fun. Like we went in for the day, at a whole entire day. And I just had guitar and a drum beat. I told him I had this sound, kind of idea in my head. And, and the vocals, and he put down the bass and he built the drum beat. And we just had a bunch of fun with pedals and just building it up and on the break. And he put this really cool lead on at the end. And we had a blast with it that day.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So and then he just ended up mixing all the rest of them. And then I had it mastered, and that was it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was great.
What would you say the song that has the most personal meaning to you is from this record?
Yeah, that would definitely be Turn Back Around. And it's probably because it's about me not prioritizing music and always kind of shelving it and put it, kind of on the back burner. And in 2020, my best friend's mom passed away. And it was kind of a moment where I was like, wow, she was like an aunt to me. I was like, stuff is really just, moving quickly. Life's moving fast. And I'm still really not where I want to be with this thing that I've always wanted to do. And so I wrote the song kind of about getting over my procrastination with it, and not overthinking it. And, I didn't have a plan. It's kind of just like about just move forward, just do it, jump in and just do it, and so that song is about, me kind of getting going with it and just, doing that thing I always wanted to do. Yeah. And not letting life get in the way. So yeah,
very cool.
I would say that's definitely the most meaningful one on there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to singer-songwriters that are just starting out?
Oh, well, I would definitely say if you, love music and you love songwriting, just keep at it. And it's kind of one of those things like everything else. The more you do it, you're going to get better and better. And if you love the process, just get lost in it, just be authentic. I have this like sticky note that I've kind of had, wherever I play music in my music space, like for years. And it's doubt is the enemy of art.
Yes.
So it's so true, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. So don't overthink it. Like, even if you're a beginner and you don't love your voice yet, I've been there, you don't play guitar that great or whatever, but you love what you're doing and you realize you get lost in it. That's your thing. Just keep doing it, I would say. Just find your voice and
Nice.
keep at it. Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
the doubt is the enemy of art.
It is.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Where can we find your music?
Yeah. So it's on the regular like streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Music. And you can find me at laneyryan.com, LANEY Ryan.com. And like all my social media pages are there and stuff like that. So
Very cool.
Facebook, Instagram, all that. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Laney, thank you for being on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to hear some music. So let's
Awesome.
jump into the performance.
Sounds great. Thank you. Okay, this song is called This Path, and it's the single off of the new EP, Tear It Down. 2, 3, 4. Just how long will it take you? Just how wrong does it make you? And where does this all lead? Am I where I'm supposed to be? I don't know. I don't know. This path looks a lot like being a little bit lost. This path looks a lot like being a little bit lost. How far down will it take you? On steady ground when it shakes you. There's a story in every line, and the ending makes you cry every time. Every time. This path looks a lot like being a little bit lost. This path looks a lot like being a little bit lost. This path looks a lot like being a little bit lost. This path looks a lot like being a little bit lost. Been forever and a day on paths where wolves fear to prey. I will find a way on paths where wolves fear to prey. Love will find a way on paths where wolves fear to prey. I will find a way on paths where wolves fear to prey. Okay, this song is called Colors and Shadows, and it's off the new EP, and it's about the pandemic. 2, 3, 4. solid answers we watch, and we gather outside in small groups, spaced apart, and we had to know, come here, masked tiger last, didn't we know? We know. How did it come about? It's alright to say if you're feeling worn out. How did it come about? Find what will raise you and turn it around. How? Lost each other, found each other, didn't we? And we saw the dark, felt the light, oh, and it shook me. Spring brings a new sunlit mood. Pause and breathe, wake from sleep. How did it come about? It's alright to say if you're feeling worn out. How did it come about? Find what will raise you and turn it around. How? This song is called Will Stars Align. It's not on the EP. It's an older song that has had various iterations and keeps kind of coming back. It's about online dating. Didn't you know I drove home with your words in my hand? Try not to forget that unsure and happy fireplace. It's all I miss. I'm sure you could tell, but I was cautious, not a rush. And you called to make sure I got home okay. You're in online data, and the grass is surely greener, 'cause you haven't yet explored the other side. Wish I met you some months later, 'cause there's hundreds more just waiting for your eager boyish best foot forward side. No, I didn't get the meaning of what you shared right away. How you tied yourself down, stuck at the wreckage, still on the ground. Da 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 da. Oh, oh, oh. I didn't wanna know. Sure, an online data, and the grass is surely greener, 'cause you haven't yet explored the other side. Wish I met you some months later, 'cause there's hundreds more just waiting for your eager boyish best foot forward side. mind. Ooh, depends on the day. Not giving into the fall, sun, sweat, and rain. Wouldn't you know, at your home with my hands, wondering what just happened there. It's like a switch flipped, 'cause you say too much and not enough, and you can't move forward and not let go. And you say you just don't know. Well, I guess you don't. You're in online data, and the grass is surely greener, 'cause you haven't yet explored the other side. Wish I'll marry you some months later, 'cause there's hundreds more just waiting for your eager boyish best foot forward side. Thank you so much for having us. So again, my name is Laney Ryan, Laney, Ryan, and you can find my website, laneyryan.com. All my social media is on there. The EP is Tear It Down, and it's found on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. So yeah, thank you again, Lars. We had fun.
Thanks for listening to Songs of Inspiration. Until next time, keep supporting live music, stay safe, and be well. This podcast is produced by True to the Vision Music. For more information, check out larswickman.net.